And I'm back. More Dragon Quest VII. Hurrah! I'm in the tallest tower in the whole wide world. And I'm gonna keep talking about characters in Dragon Quest. Because I'm doing a dungeon rant that spanned a few episodes. Off and on. And I got through some of the characters of 11. I think the last few I need to talk about are Henrik, Jade, and Rab. So, Jade is awesome. And, oh god. Okay, then. This is a problem. So, Jade, by all accounts, is kind of like the de facto love interest. Whatever that means in a Dragon Quest game, honestly. And I like her because of the princess mode, but also the intensity that she shows as a character on her own. Like, she isn't a damsel in distress, but she isn't so, like, standoffish as the femme fatale-ish type. She just smacks people.
Here I come.
She just hits people really hard. And I like that. Because sometimes you just need characters that hit the crap out of people. But to be fair, there's a lot more to her than meets the eye, which is also beneficial. Ow! You suck. Because she knows the main character. She tried to save the Luminary and whatnot, because his whole story is, I was abandoned as a child and whatever, because I was running away. You know, the Velvet Crow thing from Berseria. Like, run away from a village because they're being attacked and shit like that. Is this really gonna work? Wow.
Easy peasy.
Wow. Sad.
Knew I had it.
Yay! Ooh, Priestess. Mid-heal, nice. Biggest thing I find with Jade is you get this sense that even as a princess, she has like a mixture of vulnerability and maturity and strength that is hard to come across. Because it's hard to always mix the two. It's hard to mix the two effectively, while also trying to make it so that character isn't just, oh, I care about the main character because of this and this and this and this and this and whatever. Ah, crap. Go ahead. Ow! Ow! Ow, you suck. So Jade kind of skirts the line effectively to where,
Chin up.
of anybody that you could see caring for the protagonist, for whatever that means, again, sound of protagonist, they go out of their way to make Jade kind of the de facto choice. Ow. When you add in Rab, it also makes it even more obvious. But Rab kind of fits in... How would I describe it? Rab is like the guy who focuses on filling in the gap for the main character. Ow!
Up we get. La, la, la.
Yeah, because his whole thing is Luminary was from my kingdom and the whatever and the hello and the stuff like that.
Easy peasy.
I mean, he fills in pretty much every gap about the Luminary's actual lineage and all that stuff, and kind of acts as sort of a caretaker mentality for the main character, which is helpful because you do need that. And I do find, despite my annoyance, that hey, he's just a character, or he's just a silent protagonist. Like, I will give 11 credit. I think that game, more than anything else, goes out of its way to try and reinforce who the main character is as a person than anything else. I don't think it succeeds because, again, he doesn't speak other than his past, which is its own problem. I mean, how does a character who spoke well in a flashback cutscene suddenly now just go, you know, make noises like that? It's kind of silly on the face of it. So if anybody's wondering why I keep bringing it up, it's because I do.
Here I go.
It's because of situations like that, where Rab and Jade, once they show up, pretty much just give you every... They give you, like, every backstory you could think of, only for it to only matter so much because the guy doesn't speak. So I still do not give a shit about the main character, because he's not a character. He's a person to project onto. Are you not dead yet? Oh, you are now. Hooray, thanks.
All in a day's work.
Another feature of Rab's attitude is a bit... Like, again, he's a lore dump, but that's fine, because it makes sense that the old established veteran guy who's totally a king too would be the guy who fills in all the gaps story-wise and all the lore stuff. But he also has those moments where it's just, really, dude? Really, dude? Like, his later forays into I'm a goofball perv, like I'm the old perv guy, just comes, like, it doesn't come out of left field because, again, this is Dragon Quest. You can't take it so fucking seriously. But it does feel kind of strange that this guy's on death's door half the time just to end up saying, well, no, I'm kind of a goofball. I'm a dork. You know, I'm a perv. Because it seemed wholly unnecessary. So they did it anyway. Now, do I hate Rab because of that? No. I'm just thinking it's a character archetype that didn't need to exist. Body slam, huh? Cool. Let's see what that does. So, yeah, maybe that speaks to me as a person that's just like, I don't really need that. It's just kind of silly when you look on the face of it. Now get away from me! Because a game that was doing a really good job of playing itself pretty seriously for a Dragon Quest game would fall on such an easy hill to die on. Ah, God! Uh-oh.
Let's go!
shit!
Strike him down! Oh, cheers!
And then we get to, Hendrik, who shows up last. Wait, I get this for free? Holy shit. Damn! That is so much damage. Because, Hendrik's whole thing is he shows up late. But he ends up showing late because he ends up being, like, the nice, or the villain who ends up joining the party late. Yay! But Hendrik fills that role of, like, myth-making hero. Because more than any other game, I think 11, like, other than 5, I think 11 goes about its story with a lot more sophistication and like danger and threat. Because Act 2 happens, and it's kind of like World of Ruin-esque, where, oh god, things have not gone so well. This is bad news for you. Oh god! Oh, treasures. Okay, good. So, Hendrik's weird because, like, he knows all of the characters, one form or another, through his interactions early in the game. But he also has, like, a thing for Jade that's never acted upon, because Jade obviously cares about the Luminary more. So it's always going to be weird. But they only act on it enough that you just know it's there. Okay, Dragon Claws. Critical chance. Okay. Ooh, well, I'll be fighting them. Go me. Where am I going? Oh, God. Yeah, you just stay there. Just don't bother me. Yes, please do not bother me. So, on the whole, I find 11 has the strongest character lineup. And, you know, that being the most recent game, though that's still going back a ways now. It does speak to how far the series has come. Because a lot of franchises do have to focus on character more and more and more. I mean, you don't have to. You still have, like, you'll still have, like, the dungeon crawls and the use, you know, random character generator stuff. So you not necessarily have to have characters. But the best games are the ones that have more characters. Because
We did it.
I've kind of maintained over the last few years. Ooh, boom. Nice. And Undead Undoer. Oh, damn. I've kind of maintained a stance that there's only so many stories to tell. And eventually all the stories are going to be told. So it matters... Oh my god, where am I going? I don't know which direction is which. This is bad. Oh my god, which direction? Oh, fuck. Okay, so they all come here. Okay. Well, I suppose I can take this as a respite, if nothing else. I'm not ending the video, I'm saving. I mean, you can't expect me not to look at every other direction, right? I mean, that would be wrong. That'd be so wrong. Yeah. Because for everything I've said about the main characters not being characters, and I will stick by that endlessly because I believe that. Ow. It does speak to Dragon Quest on a whole, especially, I would say, 8 onwards. I mean, to an extent, yes, this game does it, getting back to this game. Like, they do try to focus on the in-character stories, and I think for maybe Aisha, they did an effective job for what time she had. But I look at characters... Good, you're dead. I love that they kill themselves with that strike, sometimes. Oh my god, already? Flying knee? And decelerate.
That is
Yay! So, I tend to think that character growth is not just, oh, you grew as a character, that means you're better or worse or whatever. And this goes back to my annoyance with Maribel. Is the way... Oh, I've been here. Okay, so I've done that one. Let's try this one. My annoyance with Maribel tends to be that she just didn't improve. Oh, God! Oh, God, I'm glad I went down here. And every attempt that they did make comes across as forced because she still has that air of tsundere and just not really... How would I describe it? Not really... Not really getting... Not lightening up, so to speak. She never lightens up. And every time you think she will as a character, she kind of fucks up again. And then she goes back to her little prissy self. And it just doesn't work. God, that's so much damage. And this is why I brought up Veronica. Because you can do those kinds of characters without it coming across as just complete, utter bitches. That's kind of my biggest thing. Acceleratle. Ooh. Hooray. So that's one of the issues. And then going back to Kiefer and Aisha in specific. Because the game only does so much with so many characters in so little time, it does feel like there are missed opportunities to do what a Dragon Quest VIII or a Dragon Quest XI would do. And I do think Maribel is one of the only ones that gets it later. Is the time to have a moment to herself. Because it's one thing to establish a character, like, early on, get them out of the way, and then do it. But there are times where, like, games will focus on a character, and I mentioned Freya from Final Fantasy IX. This happened to her, where the game focused so much on her early that by the time the mid-end of, like, the Disc 3 and whatever came about, there's nothing for her to do. And you don't forget what's going on with her, but you kind of do. Oh! So, it's important to, like, have enough going on that you're never completely just out of it. Like, there's enough growth, because this game is, what, halfway over? And I get it. After some point, there's only so much character to go around. But other than the Maribel thing, or other than introducing Mervyn at the end of this, there's not much left for these people to do. What you've seen from them is what you're going to see from them for the rest of the game. So the chances to change your opinion on them are gone.
Snap out of it!
That didn't really do much. God, how much damage. And it's free. That's what's crazy, is that attack is free. Yay, a mini medal! I'm glad I came back. Because you don't want a character to, like, take over every part of a game. I had this problem with Star Ocean 3, where Maria shows up late in the game, and, like, her story arc kind of takes over proceedings until she's satisfied. Kind of way beyond the tolerance level of, okay, this is your arc of the story, are we done now? To, like, it almost feels like she ends up becoming the main character instead of Fate. Which isn't terrible, you know, because Fate's only so good in so many different ways. And I like learning about new characters, sure, but they kind of went overboard, if that makes sense. Where they introduced a person just to over-introduce them. So it's a weird balancing act. Crackle! Hooray! I think my point with all this is, it is the balancing act. Because I can understand a game focusing solely on story. I have no problem with a game focusing solely on its story and its whatever. But I also need characters to whom the story actually matters. Like, I want to know that the people that I'm using actually care about it rather than just being, I'm saving the world to save the world. So you need those times of, oh, I am saving the world. I'm saving the world for more than just, I'm beating the game. I'm saving the world because, you know, Velvet had this, and this happened to her. I'm saving the game because Aisha is influenced by Kiefer and the way he did things, whether he knew it or not. Or a Persona game, like, I'm not just here to... What's the running gag? Be, you know, defeat a god with the power of friendship, right? You know, a Persona game, for instance, wouldn't be half as good if it didn't have not only its main characters, but its side story characters talking about their inner struggles and everything. Because why be friends with somebody if you're not gonna be friends? So I feel Dragon Quest is solid enough in character drama when it needs to be. And obviously I think this is a later phenomenon. But this game also suffers where I don't think 8 by comparison does. Because 8 was a more self-contained story about traveling the world. A lot of 7's problem, and I'll finish this before I end the episode. A lot of 7's problem, and this goes back to what I said a few episodes ago, or a few dungeon rants ago, was it isn't just about going to new worlds and saving them. But there isn't enough from the main character. There isn't enough about Maribel. There isn't enough about Ruff. There isn't enough about Aisha outside of their introductory things to make me consistently worry about them and empathize with them or change. You'll get some stuff here and there, but it's mostly about the self-contained story in their area. And that is Dragon Quest in a nutshell, going from one place to a place to doing everything. It's like a one-shot in a D&D campaign. I understand that. But also feeling like you have enough stuff going on to where you're constantly reinforcing. And this is something I will give Bravely Default its props. Is it constantly seems to reinforce everybody's like little things about them in every cutscene, while still bringing it back to the main story and also the main self-contained part of the story. So you're never not with them. You're never not with the reason why they're there, whether you like the character or not. I think there's something lacking with this game's presentation where you might get a hint here and there, but by and large, Ruff is going to stay Ruff. Maribel's going to stay Maribel. Aisha's going to stay Aisha. Mervin's going to stay Mervin, right? And it's more about the journey. So I guess that's just a style of presentation that I don't like, as opposed to the games that really, really do the characterization well. And it could be something retro, or it could be something new. This is like in the middle of that. Very, very, very retro, but still kind of like middle era. So who knows how they designed this compared to how they would design it if this was this game right now. I think if this was this game right now, if this was Dragon Quest 12, they would put a lot more like mini stuff with the characters and side story shit. You know, like Tales skits or Persona social links that you don't have midway through the stuff like that. Hoping that's making sense. I had a thought. I was trying to get through this dungeon You know, so I focused a lot on character drama and stuff. And yeah, the chat stuff. Like, this exists, but it's not really thorough, if that makes any sense. That's about all you really get after a while. But hey, I did my talking points. I'm happy to get back to this game. I had a couple of days off, so I needed to get back to it and keep the energy up. But I did it. We're going to save Mervin next time. And he'll join our party and take Maribel's place. So if you like Maribel, I'm sorry, but she's gone. And she's been gone since the game started. So we're getting a new guy soon. We'll see you next time.